Good day to everybody. Today we are going to talk about urban landscaping. Urban landscaping in more so over on a heritage context. Why do we talk heritage? Because heritage is something where we have lived and we are living and we will live forever. That is something where our history will teach us what to do, how we were living in the earlier days, how we are going to live, what is our future. Of course, nowadays we are having a lot of modern architecture, everything is coming up, but heritage is something we always look upon for us to understand what was earlier there. So how the streets were there, how your landscaping were there, how your buildings are there, all those things contribute ultimately to the character of the area. So today in the contest we are going to talk about Marina Beach. What is Marina Beach? How was it earlier? Marina Beach was formed almost 300 years back from today's date. But it was formed mainly as a part of the British era for having their own port and other facilities for the growth. So we had North Madras as growing. Now we call Madras as Chennai. Chennai was growing on the northern side and we had a port there. So from the port they do their import and export. Basically export, fine. Now we are going to talk about the Marina Beach. What was there and what was not. When they created the beach, we had a bridge across the Kuvam river. Then they had a lot of bollard pedestals all along the road, which was one of the important features of this particular road. Earlier we had water coming up to the road was there, but due to the formation of port, this slowly Marina Beach was formed. Beach was not there earlier. Beach was formed over a period of time, maybe 250 years time, where the water receded and we had one of the second largest beach in the world. So to understand Marina Beach is something we all have to understand. You can enter the beach at any point in 2.5 kilometers without paying a single paisa. That is a free green space, free open space available for all of you. This is one of the best beaches in the world. So when we are designing this beach, what is more important for us to understand is there are several heritage buildings along the beach and heritage pillars are there in the beach. How are we going to conserve them? How are we going to restore them? How are we going to appreciate them and use them in the today modern context? This is the basic idea of this particular class today. So a design is response to redefining the streetscape of Kamarajar Salai and urban landscape outlook is what I am going to talk about today. We had Tamil Nadu, Chennai, Kamarajar, Marina Beach of 2.5 to 3 kilometers length we have over the area. That starts from lighthouse up to the bridge, iron bridge we call it. That bridge is there. After that you cross over, go up to Reserve Bank of India. Ultimately it is 5 kilometers, but we were going to talk only about the stretch of 2.5 to 3 kilometers length. So what is required there? Chennai architecture is confluence of many architectural styles, from ancient Dravidian temple built by Pallavas to the Indo-Sarsanic style pioneered in Madras of colonial era to 20th century style of chrome skyscrapers. Madras, Chennai, now we are calling this city as Chennai. It's a colonial core in the port area. Port was developed by British in the earlier period, surrounded by progressively newer areas as one travels away from the port, punctuated with old temples, churches and mosques. The European architectural styles such as neoclassical, Romanesque, Gothic, Renaissance were brought to India by European colonists. Chennai, being the first major British settlement in Indian subcontinent, witnessed several of the earliest constructions built in these styles. These old buildings give a character to this particular stretch of 2.5 kilometer road. Initial structures were utilitarian warehouses and walled trading posts given way to fortified towns along the coastline. Although several European colonies, namely Portuguese, Danish, French, initially influenced the architectural style of the region, it was chiefly British who left a lasting impact on the city's architectural, succeeding the Mughals in the country. This followed various architectural styles with Gothic, Imperial, Christian, English Renaissance, Victorian being essentials. The entire bridge promenade stretch called as Kamaraja Salai features numerous statues and monuments. The beach stretch along the eastern side of the road, western side is dotted with various governmental and historic stately buildings from British rule all along its length. These are historical buildings. We have a historical building called Presidency College, University of Madras, Chepak Campus we call it, Public Works Department, its complex. Earlier it was a palace for them. Formerly Chepak Palace, what I was telling you is a palace, it was formerly called a Chepak Palace. University of Madras, Marina campus, Vivekananda also, even though it came much later in the style, but this also became a part of the history because Vivekananda is such a legend in his own way. Lady Wellington School, okay, it doesn't have any historical value or anything, but this building stands in that road. Queen Mary's College, one of the important colleges in ladies colleges in the city. Inspector General of Police Headquarters, All India Radio Chennai, Marina Stadium. These are all the buildings which were dotted all along the road. Now we talk about Indo-Sasanic architecture. The application of architectural feature of the Islamic, Hindu, Byzantine style into Indo-Sasanic buildings designed and built during the British colonial period in Chennai. Usually they have a lot of silent features in the Indo-Sasanic architecture. We call it onial, bulbous domes, overhanging eaves, pointed arches, cusped arches or scaffold arches, vaulted roofs, domed kiosks, many miniature domes or domed chariots, tower of minarets, harem window, open pavilions, bites to open arcade. See, these are all the features which were giving character to all these buildings. So, there are a list of prominent Indo-Sasanic style buildings in the city. We have General Post Office building, State Bank of India, Metropolitan Magistrate Court, High Court, YMCA building, Law College. We call it a different areas. We call this first 6 building comes under the area called Esplanade. The second 6 buildings comes under the area called as Chepak, Madras University, Senate House, Chepak Palace and Tower, which is of course next is a PWD building is there, Oriental Research Institute is there, Victoria Hostel is there. The next 5 or 6 buildings are mainly Bharat Institute building, Agarchand Mansion, Pumbuhar Showroom, College of Engineering, Boat Club, Old Mulberries Club, all this located in Anna Salai and Gindi. Metropolitan Magistrate Court, Museum and Kanimera Library, Egmore Railway Station, Veterinary College, State Archives Building, National Art Gallery, College of Arts and Crafts. This all comes under the area called Egmore. St. George School Chapel. Now it's a school, it was a chapel earlier. Southern Railway Office, Aminjikarai. MMC Autonomy Block, Parktown. So these are all the buildings which gives an historical look to the Chennai city. One of the most important aspect of the building is that of the material choice. What one builds, the exterior, the envelope, the spaces which affects its ability to breathe, to retain temperature and strength. These buildings are all high roofed buildings, so that whatever heat it generates will be on the higher level, so that when a human being walks in the lower level, he doesn't feel the temperature because hot air goes up and escapes on the roof level. So there are silent features available. Jollies are there, tower of minarets are there, overhanging eaves are there, bulbous domes are there. All these characters will take the additional heat into them. An onion dome is a dome whose shape resembles an onion, after which they are named. Such domes are often larger in diameter than the drum upon which they sit, and their height is usually exceeds their width. These bulb structures taper smoothly to a point. Overhanging eaves. These are the character which try to be given to the building. This primary function of the eaves is to throw rainwater off the walls. This is basically our sunshade kind of thing. The tower of minaret is the main function of the minaret is to provide vantage from which the call to prayer or adhan is made. This is kind of a place from where an announcement is made for the public. A jolly usually with an ornamental pattern constructed through the use of calligraphy or a NAD geometry. Basically provide a ventilation to the building. Some of the important buildings in the Chennai are shown here. We will name them slowly one by one in the course of time. We have a High Court, we have a NGO building on the last, then we have a ribbon building, then Egmore railway station, then museum in the center, general post office buildings, their elevation and lot of features about this particular building, Madras University campus, what are the important features available, how the building looks, how the gate looks, all those details are there. PWD building, Marina, now it's housed a public works department office. Such a great artistic value, these buildings are dotting all along the Marina beach. Then Chepak Palace and Tower. Again you can see the height, color and the scale of the building where it contributes a real character to the street. Then this High Court building. So much of bulbs, you can say onion bulbs we call them, so many bulbs are there dotted all along the building. It's one of the historical building in the city, very important feature. You can see so many bulbs are there hanging. List of buildings in Kamaraja Sale, basically IG building, Queen Mary's College, Wellington School, of course doesn't have a historical importance. Teachers training also doesn't have this thing. High education school also does. Vivekananda Villa much later. Slum clearance board, new architectural style. Water resource department, Indian Overseas Bank, all new architectural style. Parsadi temple, which is one of the ancient temple, an archway for the entrance to the temple. We have Madras University Boys Hostel is there, which is again a new building. University of Madras, this now is one of the old building and a very nice building. Part of BWD building, which also built much later but trying to contribute something to the history. PW building, as we earlier talked, it's an historical building. Quad building, of course, it's a multi-storied new building. Avin building is again a multi-storied new building. Evilagam building is again a multi-storied new building. University of Madras, rich cultural heritage building. So the concept here, what are we going to do here? What is our exercise? Our exercise is to convert the new buildings into an old architectural style, so that this 2.5 kilometers of road length will be dotted only with the historical monumental building. Where you go abroad, you go other countries, you see in France or you see in England, where the entire street will be of the same kind of an urban design. Whereas here we have dots of buildings here and there and misrepresented with other buildings. So here our exercise is to form the same type of building and for the entire stretch, so that you have an history to show to the public. So we are talking about Indo-Saxonic architecture, Victorian architecture, Roman and Greek architecture, French architecture. These are the 4 different styles of architecture which we can do for an individual building. So any building you take as an individual, what style you are applying them in that building is more important, and you can choose which will contribute well to the elevation of the building, so that your total concept of converting this particular road into an urban landscape road with an historical features of all the building dot, plus you have to change your compound design, plus what you have on the eastern side. We are trying to do something on the western side. What are we going to have on the eastern side is also equally important. We are talking about Indo-Saxonic architecture. What are the different features of Indo-Saxonic architecture? building. These are the different features are there, different photos have been taken, so that what are we going to use them in our buildings. We are talking about Roman architecture, Greek architecture. Then you have a micro detailing of capital, you have different column design, different flutes are being contributed, Doric, Ionic, Corinthian, all these designs are being incorporated in the column. So how are we going to take it up for our usage? Then we are talking about Victorian architectural style. What are the elements we are going to use in the Victorian architectural style? You can see the railing, balustrade, you can see the vaulting mounting, you can see the arches, you can see the keystone, you can see a clock tower. And these are all the sheets how we are going to develop individual building. I call it as a curricle, scribbling. So how do you scribble to every building, how to achieve the end result? These are all the different scribblings, so that we will ultimately understand what is required for every building. Now we are going to talk about Queen Mary's College. This is the present elevation of this particular building. What are we going to do? How are you going to convert it into a different old building? We have to convert the new building into old building. That is an assignment for us here. So this particular building can be taken an idea from Vidhan Sauda in Bangalore, where Indo-Sarsanic architectural style is predominant there. So our building also give guidance for us to give the elevation in this particular fashion. So this is the present position. When you change it, this is also another option available. Mortimer Square of French architecture, one particular building is there in France, can be converted into this style, this Indo-Sarsanic style. These are the features of changes, columns are need to be introduced. Then another color combination for the same building in a different style. Again one more color combination. Again we are coming to this next Wellington Institute of Advanced Studies, Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University. How are we going to convert this building into an old building? So this particular elevation need to be taken up and put it onto that building, so that that building will start looking like an old building and give a rich outlook for the entire stretch of the road. Now we are talking about slum clearance board. This is a newly built building with lot of engineers and other people working inside the building. So this building need to be given a face look of an old building. How are we going to do it? We are talking about Indo-Sarsanic architectural style for the same building. So these are all the features which need to be used in that particular building. We are talking about the minarets, domes, what are the elements that we are taking. A column design is given, minaret is given, domes are given. So ultimately when you do up the elevation, this is what it will be, finished look will be like this with the Indo-Sarsanic architectural style. And the ultimate view, three-dimensional view of the same building with Indo-Sarsanic architectural style. Color combination, we can always do a lot of coloring combination for this particular building. For the same building, when we talk about Roman and Greek architecture, the High Court building of Bangalore, the another Roman and Greek architectural building. So these are all where it is rounded, these are the features taken for the elevation sake. These are the things which we will be incorporating in our slum clearance board building. So this is what the proposal will ultimately look like, Roman and Greek architectural style building. Earlier you saw Indo-Sarsanic architectural style, now you are seeing Roman and Greek architectural style for the same building. So the assignment is give them the three options so that whichever suits that particular road can be adopted. Now we are talking about Victorian architecture. So Victorian architectural style building for the same thing. So now we are going to show you all the three options: Indo-Sarsanic, Roman and Greek architecture, Victorian architecture. How all the three contribute. Ultimately, the Indo-Sarsanic looks good, so we have cleared for that particular architecture style for this particular building. The next building we are going to talk about is Indian Overseas Bank. Of course, this is next to the slum clearance board. So our concept, our thing, everything need to be continued in the same style. We cannot have anything new design or anything. So we have to continue it on the same design. So we are just showing the existing photograph of the existing elevation. How are we going to change it to the Indo-Sarsanic style? Again, what are the features that need to be used in the Indo-Sarsanic style are shown here. And these are all, wherever it is rounded, we are going to apply those things in the elevation. So ultimately this is how it is going to look. See the details worked out to provide an elevation. Of course, these elevations are 1 meter away from the building. We are building a new elevation for the building. Old windows, everything will be retained as it is. We won't be touching the existing building, but it will be a projected elevation of the building, so that construction, everything can happen easily. This is one of the styles we are using for the Indian Overseas Bank as an Indo-Sarsanic architecture. We are talking about the next one is Victorian architecture. The same building, if we are going to do it in Victorian architecture style, how will it look? This is one of the Victorian architectural style building. These are all the rounded areas are the detail which we are going to apply in this building. So you can see those what we have shown as a rounded one are being applied here, and we are having a different elevation for the whole thing. Indian Overseas Bank will be converted like this in the future course of time. So we are talking about French architectural style with a topi kind of thing. We call it topi, is a hat in English. So we will use this kind of hatted, not hated, it's hatted, it's something which you put on your head. And these kind of things will happen when you are going to do it in a French architectural style. So again we are coming back all the three styles: Indo-Sarsanic, Victorian architecture, and then French architecture. So how it is going to look on all the three things. Again here the entire road we are planning to take it up as an Indo-Sarsanic. So again here we are planning to use Indo-Sarsanic only as our major contributor for the urban landscaping of this particular road. Now we are going to talk about Tamil Nadu Palar building. This also is an interesting building with 3-level resist building. You can see that how are we going to take up all the 3 levels of resist in the game of things of converting it into Indo-Sarsanic, French or Victorian. How are we going to do? It's quite a challenging work, but you can see the result how it has come out when we designed the whole thing. We are talking about Indo-Sarsanic style, what all the features that are all applicable and can be used in our building. See, it has come out so beautiful now. You can see that this particular building has been changed into Indo-Sarsanic with domes and railings with the planter box on top, windows with the ornamental dropping down. Your windows are with arches, brick cladding. All these elements are introduced with the cement plastering, horizontal lines. All these things give you an Indo-Sarsanic and Victorian architectural style in this particular building. We have to combine both the architecture in order to achieve an elevation of 3 level. You can see it has been taken as a 3-level building. You have a portico in the front and one building in the back. Same building only, but some rooms are in the front, another set of rooms in the back, and another 3 levels of rooms are there. So elevation has been taken care so that it matches the whole game of plan. So this is how it looks when we talk about Indo-Sarsanic architecture. Colors, what I shown there and what is here, you can always mismatch, use the new colors. Again for the same building, we are talking about Roman and Greek architecture. How will it look when we do Roman and Greek architecture? These red rounded shows the elements that are going to be used in the building elevation. You can see them, how the elements are used, how the elevation is getting changed to the new one. Again we are talking about Victorian architecture, how the Victorian architectural style this building will look. Now you can see the same 3 level has been used very effectively in all the 3 architectural style. Victorian architectural style building you can see for the Tamil Nadu Palar building. Again worked out, so much details have been worked out in all the 3 different styles. You can see option 1 is option Indo-Sarsanic, option 2 is Roman and Greek, option 3 is Victorian architecture. Ultimately you can see the Indo-Sarsanic wins the race here also. It's quite good now. Talking about Twad building, it's a Tamil Nadu water and drainage house. It is some 4-storied building where we have to convert this building into an old building. How are we going to do it? That's again the exercise. Indo-Sarsanic architecture. These are all the buildings that were used to give us the character for our building. These are all the elements that we have used in our building. We are talking about how are we going to use them in this particular building. Wow, it's come out like that. So it is good to see an Indo-Sarsanic architectural side of Twad house building. All the windows, doors, everything have been retained as it is. Nothing is changed, but only the elevation feature has been changed. Victorian architecture, color of the building. How are we going to do? Higginbotham's building in the right hand side. But there are other buildings are there. These styles we are trying to use them in our building. Twad house, these are the different locations. What all the styles are being used from these building to our building. Color also very important feature in this building. Lot of micro detailing has been picked up from the old building and then introduced here, so that we ultimately come into the Victorian architectural style of building. You can see very interesting, all the windows, everything has been incorporated as it is from the old building. Okay, it's a new building, converting it to the old building. You can see a lot of styles are used, porticos have been used, everything has been taken care of. The third, Roman and Greek architecture. So these are all the elements we are trying to use in our Roman and Greek architectural style for the same building, achieving that to the end result. And we are coming back to all the 3 alternatives. You can also check what is liked by you or what improvement you can do. You can mail us, we will look into it. This is what is more important is understanding the style, understanding the existing building, and then how are you going to apply the old architecture into new architecture. Why are we converting is you can always ask us. But understanding history, history is something, our past. We cannot forget our past into the future. And one more thing is bringing them into this style of building is very important for us. So that we'll understand and give a heritage look. You go abroad and see anywhere, any streets in France, any streets in England, you see most of the old buildings are dotted, floorings are done. But here we have buildings in a different location, not continuous. Even Calcutta you have some places where you have continuous old building, whereas in Chennai we have dots of buildings here and there, here and there. But converting this particular road into a heritage road is a very important feature for Tamil Nadu and Chennai especially. Now we are talking about Avin building. 6-storied building is there. What are we going to do about it? Going to spoil it? Going to improve it? Going to do what? Let us all take a challenge with the 3 architectural style with us. Victorian architecture is first we are going to talk about it. These are all the different styles of Victorian architectural building. These are all the elements we are going to use in this particular building. Painted red, painted with the clock tower, stuck a clock tower on the top. Styles are used properly. Windows, everything retained. Existing porticos are remodeled to old time. So you have a new elevation. Talking about which ultimately it look like that. The grand building. Greek and Roman architecture, how does it look? We have an alternatives. How does it work? You have the color, you have the painted finishes, you have windows, you have triangular pediments. You have brickwork, doors and windows have been changed in this style, French architecture. So we are going to adopt these styles of the French architecture into our Avin building. So what it will look when it is finished. You all can ask, why are you changing like that? What is the importance of changing like that? Basically give a character to the road, number one. Number two, when you are walking in the street, you find these kind of old structures give a character to the road, number one. Number two, it will look wow effect, amazing effect. Number three, it will take back to our history. That is more important. This is again the third building, Avilagam we call it. Now it houses some public offices, government offices. And in the foreground we have MGR Samadhi is there. So how are we going to change it into three different styles? Indo-Sarsanic architecture, one is all the elements. Everything is available in the building itself. Building itself will guide you to convert into this kind of thing. You can see the dome which has come up there, which was created by some other triangular feature which was available in there. There are four towers are there, which are already there in the building, which given us to this, and all the doors and windows have been contributed to changing to this style. The building itself has guided us to change to this particular Indo-Sarsanic architectural style without anything. It's given such an immense pleasure in designing this particular building for me. You can see the elevation. So French architecture, what are you going to do in the French architecture for the same building? Different elements used. Wow, you have a beautiful French architectural building. Everything is guided by the building. Building has got a character to convert itself into this particular style of building, which is very important for us to understand the feature of this olden architectural style. How are you going to put them into the new building, which is very, very important. Same thing we are talking about Victorian architecture. Now coming to Victorian architecture, these are all the different Victorian buildings are there. How are you going to convert them into this Avilagam building, conversion of Avilagam building into these styles? You can see these are all the different styles that need to be picked up from these buildings to be adopted in our building. Yes, it has come out. French architectural, French and Victorian architectural side. Again, the building has guided us to do this style. Building has got some kind of an input which has helped us to design to this level. You can see all the three designs here, all are good. You can't say this fellow is good, that fellow is bad and anything like that. Why this happened like that is because our building has contributed to this. The central dome or anything what we created in Indo-Sarsanic architecture, or French architecture, or French and Victorian architecture, all these things evolved from the building itself. The existing building has contributed so much for the conversion. Now we are going to talk about colors of the building. Why do you color the building? Color is something called as vibration. Why do you need vibration? Once there is a vibration only, you will enjoy the walking on the street, you will enjoy the colors of the building. The colors also give a feeling or identity for the building. This is the different styles of colors we are planning to use in our building. Now you can really visit the Marina Beach and enjoy the walkway on the upper level, walkway on the lower level, and different galleries have been located. People will really enjoy the beach and a lot of seating activity. I call it 4 S's. S1 is sea, S2 is sand, S3 people to sit and watch, and another S is for you to view. 4 S's are there. So all the 4 S's combined together, the entire landscape has been developed, and you can really enjoy one of the best beaches in India. Thank you.